We'll see how this works. So, on a couple of my videos, I talked about common law, civil law, and all that. Alright, so I've still been studying, and I accidentally came across this one video, which I technically should have been looking up, see if there was anything like this out there. And I haven't been doing it. So this is Diesel for We the People news, so I'm going to give you guys a little news. Alright. I may stop, proceed forward on this video. Alrighty. We'll see what happens here, and I'll explain what's going on.
Your notice, sir?
I'm not a sir.
You can have a seat.
Have a seat, please.
Did you get my notice?
Your motions that you filed, your notices that you filed, yes, the court has reviewed them. I'm calling court case 19 CM 1570. State of Wisconsin versus Ryan Robert Desmith. He is appearing in person without counsel. Assistant District Attorney Hannah Schuckert is appearing for the state. This is an initial appearance, and we're here today. Sir, have you received a copy of the criminal complaint?
I stand on my notice.
Did you receive a copy of the criminal complaint?
I stand on my notice.
Sir, a lot easier.
So just in case you guys don't hear it, he put a notice in, and he's standing on the notice, so he's not answering questions. Which, again, y'all, this is common law. You don't have to answer questions. Alright? So far, right now, he's not entering the jurisdiction of the courts. He's ignoring it altogether. I just want to kind of bring that up at this point, just in case you did not hear him say, did the courts receive his notice? And he stands on his notice is what he told the judge. So far, he's not answering questions. He's asking questions.
You just answer the questions.
You got my notice.
Did you receive a copy of the criminal complaint, sir? This is a very simple question. I called other cases before you so that you could understand how the court process is proceeding. This is a very simple question. You were sent a criminal complaint and a summons, and you are being charged with carrying a concealed weapon, party to a crime. That is a Class A misdemeanor. If you are convicted of that crime, you could be fined not more than $10,000 and imprisoned not more than 9 months. Count 2 is obstructing an officer, party to a crime. If you are convicted of that, that is a Class A misdemeanor. You could be fined up to $10,000 and imprisoned not more than 9 months. You are also being charged with disorderly conduct, party to a crime. That is a Class B misdemeanor. If you are convicted of that, you could be fined not more than $1,000 or imprisoned not more than 90 days. Now, knowing what you've been charged with and the maximum penalties.
So you heard the charges. So it's actually pretty serious. Alright? In their eyes. Alright? This is the only video I have, so I don't know what happened. I'm just going by what this court thing is going by. And so my opinions before the fact doesn't exist. Alright? Now, if I was a jury, as of this point right now, he's innocent until proven guilty, right? And most of y'all should agree if you actually are a good juror. So let's go by the eyes of the jury. Alright? Proceed forward.
You have certain rights. One of those rights is for the state to prove these allegations against you in a court of law. You are also entitled to have a court trial or a jury trial. That is of your choice. You are also entitled to having an attorney represent you. If you are not working, you can apply to the state public defender, and then an attorney can be appointed for you. If you do not qualify for the state public defender, you have several other options. One of those options is to defend yourself. Another option is to hire an attorney. If you call around and realize that you cannot make the retainer to hire an attorney, you can then come back to court and fill out a form for a court-appointed attorney. The county would then appoint you an attorney if you qualified, and then you would be responsible for paying back the county on a monthly basis for the attorney. Now, those are your rights, sir. This is the purpose of today's hearing. So, I need to know, do you plan on hiring an attorney?
So at this point, I'm going to do a disclosure. I'm not on either side. This is just learning what we cannot do. It's a learning material for people to learn and see what happens in the court system. So, just going to go by the disclaimer there.
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't speak your language, I only speak man to man.
So just in case you didn't hear, he don't understand your language. That is civil law or codes and all that kind of stuff, alright? He only speaks man to man. That's common law. Civil law is codes. So again, this is a learning video. And this is news of what actually, in fact, happened.
You got my notices?
Sir, those notices can be addressed upstairs in circuit court. At this point, I've told you the purposes of today's hearing. So, I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf.
If you enter a plea on my behalf, you will be held fully liable.
So the judge is saying she's going to enter the plea on his behalf. But he made it on record saying that if she enters the plea, which she cannot do, then she is solely responsible for this action. Basically, she's given up her qualified immunity, or for judges, absolute immunity. Again, for YouTube censor, this is what I'm understanding from this video.
And you will have these cases, we will be then sending this case upstairs. This is going to branch A with Judge Lee Joyce. Now, before I enter that on your behalf, you do have a right to substitution. Do you have a problem with Judge Lee Joyce hearing your case?
Who are you?
So since he goes man to man, or what you should say, woman to woman, or whatever you want to pronounce that, just in case you guys didn't catch it, he specifically asked the judge, who are you? He's not entering the jurisdiction of the court. Okay? I just want to clear this up as a learning video.
I am the court commissioner. I'm in charge of hearing this introductory hearing in the court. I'm asking you, do you have a problem with Judge Lee Joyce hearing your case?
Who are you?
You just answered the question, sir.
So he asked the judge again, who are you? And the bailiff back there says, just answer the question, sir. Once again, it's the bodyguard of the judge. They kind of used threat tactics and ordered him to answer the question, which again goes against what? The Fifth Amendment, to incriminate yourself. So why are you answering questions in court? So he's not incriminating himself.
We don't have time for this. I have a courtroom full of people.
I'm not a sir.
That's very important too. Just in case you didn't hear it, I don't know how good the video is. He says, I'm not a sir. Okay? Which means he's standing on, I'm a man. Treat me as such.
Mr. Ryan Desmith,
Yes.
I'm asking you a very simple question. Do you have a problem with Branch 8, Judge Lee Jorst hearing your case?
Whose court is this?
Whose court is this? Okay, common law, the court is the people's court. All right? She will not answer the question.
Would you like me to schedule, Commissioner?
Yes.
January 27th at 9 o'clock.
That will be your next hearing. It'll be upstairs in front of Judge Lee Joyce. The court has entered a not guilty plea on your behalf. And what is the state's request for bond?
State's recommending a $2,500 signature bond. Conditions to be no contact with the property. That is the Assembly of God Church. We're also asking for no possession of dangerous weapons.
Was there cash posted in this case? Let me check.
Whose court is this?
I don't see that cash was posted, Commissioner.
Court will issue a $2,500 signature bond. Also, no contact with, is this the Assembly of God
Correct,
Church?
correct.
And also, no possession of any weapons. You can come forward, sir. Sign your bond.
I stand on my notice.
Sir, come on up. We don't have time for this. Come on up.
I'm not a sir.
Either sign this or we're gonna move it on refused.
I do not service.
Refused, and then you can leave, okay? You're done here.
Goodbye.
All right. So what they did is try to force him to sign a contract. He did not sign a contract. Now, as you see him walking out, the bailiff demanded him to leave. What? Without a bond? How can that be? He never entered the jurisdiction of the courts. Technically, what they would do without a bond was go ahead and put cuffs on him and haul him out the back.
Jordan Thomas Salmi. This is 19 CM 1571, State of Wisconsin versus Jordan Thomas Salmi.
Have a seat, sir.
I'm not a sir.
Have a seat.
Let it be known this day,
Have a seat.
for I, man Jordan Salmi, am in a state of man, now past and forthwith. I'm not
me
responsible
take
for
him in.
defendant.
You can leave. I'm asking you to leave.
Is that an order?
Leave, please.
Is that an order?
Excuse me?
Is that
So the officer is asking to leave. But he was not leaving until it was an order. Because if you walked out of that court when the officer asked him to leave, then he did it willingly. Alright? Then they could bring charges back upon him. Okay? So he had to wait until the officer actually says it's an order, so they cannot come after him.
Order, yes.
And so we'll call him at the end.
So, there we go, people. It can't be done. Them two guys right there was brought up with some pretty serious charges, okay? For learning purposes, from what I'm gathering, YouTube, because I'm learning, is they never entered the jurisdiction of the courts. So the courts could not proceed forward. There was no contract. The way they're talking, they already knew this. before they even was brought up on charges. So they already did something in jail or this, that, here, and they never signed any contracts or anything like that. So how they get bonded out, don't know. You know, I guess somebody posted bond, but really they just never signed any contracts because that would put them in jurisdiction of the law. So anyway, I thought I'd just bring that up and see what you guys think. Again, this is they entered as a man, all right? And I talked about it. Pyramid: God, man, government. God is above all, our creator, however you want to look at it. Man is second, beneath God, under him. Government is created from man, with God's permission. All right? So what they're doing is using that second, you know, we're the boss. We the people are the boss of the government. So what they did is actually saying, hey, wait a minute. I'm your boss. Where did I give you authority to run my courts like this? That's the reason why he keeps on bringing up court. Whose court is this? You know, he was wanting to know what jurisdiction he was under. Whether it was common law, whether it was MLT maritime, contract, civil law, or military tribunal. Which the flag up there just automatically, you don't see it on this court, but all courts had the Ghost Wrench flag, which means military tribunal. Alright? So anyway, I hope you guys appreciate it. I hope you guys kind of see this, and again, just push like, spread me around. I think it's really interesting. I accidentally came across this, and I should have been looking these videos up first. I'm going to check see if there's any more of these. But for learning purposes, for the court systems, you know, why not show you a different route? You notice both the guys with these serious charges turned around, walked out, and they got another court date, and it's going to take a couple of court dates, so this is not over with. All right, but what they got to do with each and every court date is do the exact same thing what they're doing now. They cannot enter the jurisdiction of the courts, especially on record. All right, they don't want this on record. I was having a discussion with one of the guys. Well, maritime's by the sea. Well, yeah, it is. Somehow they brought it on the land. They operate it on the land. When does government, actually go by their own rules? Okay? What they did is inserted common law, and that's the reason why it says, whose court is this? She would not answer. And he stayed in his court. That is the people's court. So, that's why I learned so far. For learning purposes only. Spread this around. This is decent for We the People news. I figured there's a little news right there for you guys to kind of get an idea what's going on in some of the court systems. Until next time, y'all. Bye.